Welcome, Trust Builders. I'm Sue Dyer, and this is Lead with Trust, where we explore how leaders can build their business on a foundation of trust and reap the rewards of becoming the top performer in their market. Leaders that understand how to use and leverage trust are uniquely positioned to disrupt their industry and dominate their market. Distrust of businesses and business leaders is at an all-time high. Trusted businesses must have trusted leaders, and your team, your customers, and your vendors are waiting for you and elevate the level of trust in your business. My hope is that this podcast can help you start your trusted leader journey. Trusted leaders, this is Sue Dyer, and this is an episode of Lead with Trust. And thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited today to have John Lee Dumas as our guest. John is just one of my favorite people, and Kate Erickson, his soon-to-be wife, is also one of my favorite people. They're mentors for me. And John has mentored me in doing my podcast, and Kate is so great in helping with all of the background stuff. She's so organized. She's so phenomenal, really. And I just appreciate them very much. And so I wanted to have John share with us some of his superpowers, because what I see, and you'll see from John when he talks about his superpowers, is that he uses those to develop trust with his audience and within his business. And I think that's true for all of us, that we can use our superpowers to be able to develop trust. Now, first, you've got to know what those are. And so John and I will talk about a couple of his, but that's really what to think about this week for you as you listen to this episode and think about it. What are your superpowers, and how can you use those to increase trust with your customers, your employees, your boss? I think that's essential, and it's the easiest way to start your trusted leader journey, right? So let's dive in and listen to John. Hey, John Lee Dumas.
Sue, I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming and being with me on Lead with Trust. And look what I have right here. I have your
familiar.
book, which I just loved.
Thank you.
And the Common Path to Uncommon Success, everybody, was John's best-selling book. And it's a synthesis of 3,000 interviews of entrepreneurs and just top people. I highly recommend it. It's a great book. I love it. And I really appreciate you creating the book for all of us. So I always like to start off by asking everyone, John, I know you grew up in Maine. So what kind of group did you hang out with in high school?
I was part of the jock crew. I mean, I was a 3-sport varsity athlete. So I definitely had the Letterman's jacket, and, my girlfriend was on the cheerleading team. So that was my crew. It was fun. It was a small town in Maine. So sports were taken pretty seriously. And I definitely knew I wasn't a good enough athlete to play at a high level in college. So I enjoyed what I could while I was in high school.
Well, you're still pretty athletic. I mean, you're always exercising and doing things like that.
Sure. I do love staying in good shape and being active and having some fun. And I've always enjoyed competition. So that's kind of maintained a part of my life.
That's interesting. So I always find that where we kind of started in high school sort of sets a path. So how do you think that has influenced your life so far?
I definitely learned through sports a lot. One of the things that I think is super applicable to my sports days, and I even talk about this a little bit in the book when I was injured my senior year and had to switch over to swimming as a sport from basketball, is I learned the value of putting in the reps. I realized that the people that did the thing the most were the best. If you took the most free throws in the gym, you were probably the best free throw shooter. If you did the most laps in the pool, you are probably one of the best swimmers. Now, of course, there's variables that go in there with natural ability and all that jazz, but it really showed me that putting in the reps was so powerful, so meaningful. And that's honestly had such a big influence with my decision to launch Entrepreneurs on Fire as a daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs, because I knew that I wasn't going to be good interviewing people at first, that I wasn't going to be good speaking publicly, that I wasn't going to be good, just dialing in an interview and guiding it along the way. And I knew the only way I was going to get good was to put in the reps, was to get up every single day and do one more show.
Yeah, well, you certainly have done that. And I know I've had the opportunity to be at your house in Puerto Rico and for you to mentor me a bit. And so I'm still putting in the reps.
Yes, I love to hear it. It was awesome hosting you here and seeing your energy in person. And it's something that we definitely look very fondly back upon. That was a great weekend.
It was. So I want to talk about two things today. I want to talk about a couple of superpowers that I see you have. And one is transparency. And the reason I want to talk about that is because, I'm all about trust. And one of the biggest underpinnings of creating trust is transparency. And I know that you have published your financials and been completely transparent for years and years and years. And how do you think, or do you think that has influenced the level of trust you have with your million downloads a month?
I think it's had a massive impact. So for 101 months in a row now, we have published a monthly income report where we show how every dollar is made, how every dollar is spent, our successes, our failures, our struggles, and everything in between. We bring our lawyer on for a legal tip. Our accountant comes on for a tax tip. Like, we try to make it a very valuable monthly income report that's just really going to be beneficial to our listeners who are getting going in the entrepreneurial journey. And going back to 2011, when I was thinking about jumping into the entrepreneurial game, I remember just being like, but who can you trust? Like, people can say anything they want to say. They can put anything they want to on the internet. Who can you really trust? And then I remember, my buddy now, Pat Flynn, back in that day, was posting a monthly income report. And I said, wow, now here's a cool guy who I trust, who I listen to very often, his podcast. And, he's just publishing everything. He's being transparent. He's making me believe that I can do it because he's showing me the way. And I said to myself in that moment, if I ever have the type of success that I hope I do on a financial level with the business, I want to do the same thing for my followers, for people that are consuming my content. And that's why the decision was made pretty early in our business to launch a monthly income report. And we've never missed a month since we launched 101 months ago.
Hi, this is Sue. Sorry to interrupt the episode, but I'm so excited that my new book, The Trusted Leader, is about to launch. And if it's after February 1st, 2022, then it's already out there. And so I'm so excited because for years, I've been asked to help leaders to create a high trust environment. We have worked for 35 years to go in and help leaders through intervening and facilitating the development of high trust teams and businesses. And now I'm teaching leaders how to do this for yourself. And trust is so important because it's really like having your foot on the gas of your business. And in so many businesses, people are working so hard, but their foot is on the brake as well. And so you expend a lot of time, energy, resources, and you just can't get where you should or could get. And so I hope you will go and get the book now and start your trusted leader journey. You can go to www.sudyco.com/book, and you can get the book there, and you can pre-order the book there, or you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or anywhere that you get your books. But I hope you'll go and get it and start reading it. I can't wait to get your feedback and to be on a trusted leader journey with you. Let's get back to the show. And they're really interesting as well. But I just think that it's such a powerful tool that so many leaders are not very transparent. I mean, the Edelman Trust Barometer this year says that like 65% of people believe that leaders lie just to get their own way, right? So kudos to you and Kate for that. The other superpower I know you have is focus. You like maybe the most focused person I've ever met.
I've even got a sign over there right below the M. It says, follow one course until success. Focus.
That's you. So tell me a little bit more about your thoughts on focusing and the discipline it takes, and how do us mere mortals achieve that?
Yeah, it's not easy because, it's one of my 3 superpowers. I believe that I am incredibly productive. That means I produce the right content. I do believe I'm incredibly disciplined, which means I am a disciple to a plan of action that I've created on executing that plan. And then I'm unbelievably focused, which is following one course until success. Because all you see every day is everybody in this world wants to distract you. They want to ping you. They want to say hi to you. They want to contact you. They want to sell you something. They want you to buy something. They want this. They want that. Everybody is trying to get your attention. And those individuals who can just close the door, everything, turn their phones off, go on airplane mode, like turn off their internet and just open up a blank white piece of paper and just be there with that piece of paper and one idea, one concept, one goal. That's focus. That's just blocking everything else out that wants to distract you and going all in on that one thing that you need. And the reality is, because I've been so good at focusing over the years, I'm now a decade into the business. I am now working 5 days per month, 5 days per month. Those 5 days, I am unbelievably focused. I am unbelievably productive. I am unbelievably disciplined. But that allows the other 25 days for me to do other things. Like just for the past 10 days, I was in Utah skiing. I didn't work a single day that I was there. I was just there on vacation skiing. I'm actually going to Istanbul, Turkey, and Rome, and Geneva and Switzerland, in the French Alps next in 3 weeks for a month. I'm going to be gone so quickly on the heels of this other vacation where I'm not going to be working at all while I'm gone, because the days that I do work, I'm unbelievably focused, disciplined, and productive. Like those are the keys. And that's allowed me to create this lifestyle.
And I was, first off, I just have to say, I'm so happy for you and Kate to be able to get away, because I know COVID was not easy on that. So I'm so happy for that. But help people understand how you become so focused, because I know you're a big believer in batching. How do you keep the distractions out? Just give us some tips.
I call it batching like a baller. So for instance, today you and I are having this conversation. You are one of 20 back-to-back interviews that I'm doing today. So I just block time off and I say, listen, this is when we start. This is when we have to finish, because I'm off to the next interview. I don't let anything bleed over, because frankly, it can't. And so, when I am so committed to locking myself into a schedule, I have nothing to do but execute that. And I'm a big believer in saying, I wake up in the morning and I say, listen, by 7 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be sitting on that couch watching the Winter Olympics. Like that's going to happen. I'm either going to do these 20 interviews or I'm not, but either or, I'm going to be sitting, like the day's going to end. The day's going to be over. I'm going to be sitting on the couch. I'm going to be watching the Olympics. Like that's the reality. So why not make the most of the time that I have between now and then and just have that mindset shift that I can do it. And that's, gave me really the ability to launch the first daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs, because people didn't think it could be done. Just like people didn't think the 4-minute mile could be done. But guess what? The guy ran the 4-minute mile. Within a few months, 28 or so other people had run the 4-minute mile because he broke through that mental barrier. And now a daily show is not uncommon at all, because I broke through this weird invisible barrier that people were just regurgitating from hearing it somewhere else. And it's all down to focus. So batching like a baller, having systems, having tools, having automations in place, like everything has to work like that if it's going to happen.
It also reminds me in the trust, there's a trust hierarchy, and the top of the trust hierarchy is trusting yourself. And to me, that's you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I know your nuptials are coming up. Congratulations in April.
Thank you. April 23rd.
I'm so excited for you.
Really appreciate it.
So any final word to the listeners on what they can start doing today?
Final word is actually a quote I want to share from Albert Einstein, which is, try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. And so what can you do today? Become a person of value. What does it look like for you to just give value?
I'm so excited. Well, I hope that I know you've given everyone that's listening today value, and you always do. And so appreciate it. And thank you so much, John, for being here on Lead with Trust. Really appreciate you. Love you guys.
Adios.
Thanks. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Lead with Trust, and that wherever you're listening to this podcast, you will subscribe. And if you enjoyed this episode, send it to someone who you think can really use this message that you got today. And also, please leave us a review. Your honest review wherever you listen to your podcasts would be much appreciated. And of course, the more reviews we get, the better they are, the better for the podcast. I'm truly on a mission to get more and more people to understand that trust is the essential element. So I hope you'll be part of that. This show really exists to help you, leaders, to build your business on a foundation of trust so that you can reap the rewards of becoming that top performer in your market. I see over and over where no one can possibly reach the levels of those people that understand how to build a high trust culture in their business. Now, today, if you're really curious about starting your trusted leader journey, you can get started right away if you just take the free Trusted Leader Profile, and you can learn where you fall along the Trusted Leader continuum. And this really can unlock your confidence on where you are and what you need to do. It's very specific on what you can do. Gives you a snapshot of your leadership style. So if you want to take that, just go to www.sudyco.com and then /profile, and you will get immediate access to the Trusted Leader Profile. Once again, that is www.sudyco.com /profile. All right, that's a wrap. I just can't wait to hang out with you again on our next episode.